Governor, your take, first of all, let's visit Iowa and what you saw there and then what you heard from Trump.
I mean, folks know I'm not much of a Trump guy, so to say. And I think on the face of it, everybody in that room would tell you he gave the worst speech. He just came out, he read from a binder. He just kind of looked down and read from a binder, had no energy, talked about his poll numbers, nothing about the future of America, nothing about how to get stuff done, nothing about, actually getting some of these initiatives and policies moving forward. So I think his fell flat. But yeah, sure, he's definitely still leading. He is the former incumbent president. Nobody should be surprised by that. And the national polls, I get it, they're big, but where's the discussion happening? Iowa and New Hampshire, where are those polls? Well, 2 of the last 3 polls have the former president under 40%, which means over 60% of his base, hardcore voter Republican, don't want him. And so it's not what he has, it's what he doesn't have as a former president.
New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu came out firing once again on Donald Trump and his run for president, this time on Fox News. But Harris Faulkner wasn't in the mood for the Lord and Savior, Donald Jesus Trump, to be analyzed yet so negatively.
So, Governor, again, I mean, in full disclosure, you're obviously not a Trump fan, but I don't know that it's fair to say he didn't really talk about anything about the future. I mean, I watched that. I didn't completely get that out of it. He was lower key.
What did he say about the future?
Let me finish my sentence. He was lower key. Yeah. And I want to ask strategy for just a second.
You notice how Governor Sununu flashed a "where's the answer at" type of glare at Harris Faulkner? Spoiler alert, by the way. She never answered the question. But that didn't stop him from continuing the onslaught against Trump's empty campaign.
This guy has raised $40 million in his PAC, the billionaire, so other people can pay his legal bills. And he gets up there, and whether it's the 10-minute speech in Iowa or the 60-minute droning on, it's all about his legal troubles. It's all about woe is me, poor me, victimization, all of that sort of thing, which I get it. People play into. But I don't think that actually carries a vote. And if you look at what he read in his binder, he just read down his list of stats and all that sort of thing. But it was nothing about fiscal responsibility or draining the swamp or border security, any of those things.
You think people have a question about that from him? Do you honestly think?
Yes, because he didn't do it.
The criticism that I'm hearing about Republicans overall.
With Governor Sununu dropping mic after mic on Fox News' doorstep, you think he's a flame-throwing, truth-telling opponent to Trump's endless lies. But you'd be wrong.
Do you commit to supporting the GOP nominee, whoever it is?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a Republican. I'm going to support the Republican nominee because I can guarantee you they're better than any of the Democrats that would likely sit in that presidential seat.
Even if it's Donald Trump?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Donald Trump, but yeah, I'm going to support the Republican nominee, to be sure.
Because, I mean, I think that you did at a dinner call Donald Trump effing crazy.
Yeah, that was funny. It was a roast. It was a funny joke. Yeah, again, if you're saying that I wouldn't support the nominee because I made a joke at a roast, it was a good joke. I take pride in that. I got a lot of laughs. Look, I made a lot of jokes about my own family, about other Republicans, about Joe Biden, about Jen Psaki, who is sitting right there. I make jokes about everybody. Look, this job is not the fact that you have so many politicians in this world that take themselves so seriously. Everyone has lost a sense of humor. There's no sense of self-deprecation. There's no sense of lightening the mood a little bit.
Governor Sununu is looking like the embodiment of a Republican Party that simply doesn't know how to approach Trump while witnessing a growing list of indictments and charges that are pretty legitimate, especially with the way Trump is reacting to all of it. But despite the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde routine, Sununu does appear a lot on TV to flash one version or another.
You saw what our poll said about Trump-Biden. You think Donald Trump can beat Biden?
No. Unfortunately, showed us that, right? Trump is going to be seen as a very extreme candidate. The country's going to push back against it. If we just look at the results of 3 months ago, and that shows you where extreme candidates are going to end up falling. It can't get done. He could get the nomination, but he can't get done. And what I try to espouse to Republicans is, look, we want to vote for the most conservative candidate that can win in November and get stuff done in 25. Trump's issues are Trump's issues. He's going to have to deal with them. Let those go. And make sure that we're putting forth a candidate and a message and something that resonates with folks that can win in November of 24. Trump can win the nomination, but mathematically, we all know there's no way he can win in November of 24. In fact, this dividing line, these indictments, just keep getting that gap bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay. So he'll support Trump in 2024, even though he's 100% sure that he can't win. Sounds like he's openly supporting a guy who he considers a losing candidate with a growing rap sheet. It's like the most political answer ever. But then again, what about Trump's growing number of investigations and revelations that keep this entire party blindly defending him?
Governor, we learned Friday from this new affidavit that is redacted that the FBI found 184 documents marked classified in January, and it included more than 24 labeled top secret. We also learned that the FBI retrieved sensitive information on human clandestine sources. How concerned are you about this?
Well, again, my biggest criticism, and I think the concern of most of the country, is where's the transparency, right? We want to see it. I think we were all pretty excited to see what might be in this affidavit, and I think I speak for everyone when we're all pretty disappointed to see it was almost all redacted. And let's remember, this has been a year and a half in the making, right? The former President Trump has been out of office for going on 2 years now. Why? I think this is a coincidence, just happening a few months before the midterm elections and all that sort of thing. So, you know, this is unprecedented, and they had to have an unprecedented strategy, which they clearly didn't have. They're on their heels. They don't know what to do.
So now Sununu is back to defending the guy over his document scandal. A guy who he said has no plan for the future, didn't follow through on the things that he promised. A guy that Sununu will support in 2024, even though he's convinced that he can't win, but is apparently being railroaded by the Department of Justice. If your head isn't spinning searching for some bit of consistency with Chris Sununu, he's not even done yet. Because even though he defended Trump on the documents, he wasn't so gracious to his fellow ass-kissing Republicans on the very same topic.
Was that a good look for the former president to have boxes in a bathroom?
I don't know. Is it a good picture to have boxes in a garage that opens up all the time? A bathroom door locks.
Everybody understands that President Trump had documents in his home. They were locked up. None like President Biden's was in his glove compartment of a Corvette.
There are 33 bathrooms at Mar-a-Lago. So don't act like it's just in some random bathroom that the guests can go into.
So, Governor, what goes through your mind hearing some of your fellow Republicans like that offer these kinds of excuses?
Well, as a governor, I'm moving all my secret files into the bathroom immediately, because apparently that's just fine, as long as your house is big enough. Look, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. They are scraping the bottom of the barrel to find some type of defense so he won't come after him, so the other conservative media outlets don't come after them. It's really being all done in fear, and that's my biggest problem with this.
Maybe it's fear or a strategic political positioning that they're looking for that drives these Republicans in circles looking for answers. But the one thing that Donald Trump and his loads of legal issues does is always keeps this party guessing about exactly how to prove their loyalty to him while also knowing this about him.
It's also generous of you to say that you would support Donald Trump because he did not extend that same courtesy to you or to any other candidate today. He said that no, he would not commit to doing that.
Are you surprised? Are we shocked by that? Right? Donald Trump is about Donald Trump. I don't think any of us should be shocked by that statement.